Hello, Internet. I'm Matt.
And I'm Monster Punter.
And this is the Parallax Scrolling Podcast, where we give you our perspective on video games and the news that affects them. How was your turkey day?
Good. Family came by, hosted, left free food. Good for me.
Free food?
I'll take free food. Free food is good.
We had food, but man, we didn't have enough food. Like, we had like a lot of people in our house, but we only cooked one turkey. And normally, like, something is part of like family tradition is to not just have Thanksgiving dinner, but to have Thanksgiving dinner for the next week. And usually that happens because we have two turkeys that we do. Well, I did one turkey this year, so leftovers were gone the very next day. Kind of lame.
Well, don't want to have too much of a good thing, I suppose.
Free food or free meals, always nice.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I can't complain.
But did you get to play anything cool?
I beat Trails of Cold Steel 4.
Yay!
Be warned, anybody who plays through that you will get the normal ending no matter what you do the first time you complete it. And if, and only if, you've completed every quest, so I do recommend looking up a guide, you will get the option to go to the true ending. And then after you get the true ending, everything seems all well and good. Except for you have to play through the true ending again to get another 5-minite clip afterwards. I learned that after the fact. I was about to go to
you
bed,
could just go to YouTube.
which is what I did.
Yeah. I mean, that's that's kind of a dumb idea, you know?
Yeah, I think it is. It should have just been tacked onto the true ending. I mean, I think it's kind of lame that they had to do a true ending in the first place, but there's an item you get from the very last quest. You have to complete all the other quests, and you get this final quest to get a specific item that's used in the true ending. And
Well, that's actually a good question. Since we haven't really had a lot of questions, and we haven't had a lot of feedback from viewers. Let's throw this one up real quick. How do you guys feel about multiple ending games and the ridiculous efforts of going through for the quote-unquote true endings in some games?
I tell you what, one game that really didn't have a true ending, I don't think, but it had like 7 different ones, if I'm not mistaken. Guardian Heroes.
No, there was a true ending. But you didn't find out what the true ending was until you did Guardian Heroes Advance. On the Game Boy Advance.
That was terrible.
Yeah, they dropped the ball. That's kind of sad.
That's a terrible game. That's a terrible
Actually,
game.
I liked it. Once you get used to it, it's fun to play. But the problem is, it's not Guardian Heroes.
Yeah.
It just has Guardian Hero characters in it.
Oh, I was so disappointed when I picked that up.
Yeah. Fortunately enough, a good spiritual successor is Code of Princess.
Yes, Code of Princess is good.
Made by the same people, obviously, but it's
yeah.
It actually had that whole kind of like multi-story arc going on. It was really cool.
Be warned that the Switch version only has Japanese voices. If you want the American voices, you actually have to get the 3DS one.
Or the PC.
The PC one has?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know it was on PC.
It's on Steam, and there's even Code of Princess EX, which like updated the graphics to 3D.
Well, that's what the Switch one is.
Yeah, well, there's also the original version.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So, I got to play some fun stuff. I told you guys before I finished Loop Hero, so I've been playing. I went back to Neon Abyss. It's a roguelike that's it's oddly enough, it's like Hades.
Okay.
In that it recognizes the Greek gods. That's it. In fact, they even make a joke about Hades in the because like your character makes a contract with Hades to go into the dungeons to basically you're trying to overthrow the Titans.
Okay.
And you have to fight the old gods along the way and a bunch of other weirdo gods. But Hades is the one who sends you. And so at one point there's a cutscene where Hades is talking to the game developer, and he's like, well, why don't you just name it after me? Calling it this is so weird. He goes, well, there's already another game called Hades. We can't do that. So it's pretty fun. I like that game. It's and I'm glad I am playing it on, like I own it for PC, but I'm playing it on Game Pass, which it makes it a little more fun, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm having fun with that one. Other than that, I really haven't had time to... still restoring the PC, so I haven't really had time to sit down and play a bunch of stuff. I'm hoping next time we record, I get to talk about a game that a buddy of mine just bought for me that I get to play on my Steam profile, and it is called Death Must Die. And want to talk about a game like Hades. It's got the gods that give you random powers that you get to pick. But it's also like Diablo, where you got to do equipment management. And then it's like Vampire Survivors, where you're just surviving hordes and hordes of monsters in a time limit. So it looks great. And I'm looking forward to playing it and giving my personal thoughts on it.
Of which I'm sure we will hear.
Well, it would be weird if I didn't talk about it, wouldn't it? So, speaking of weird,
okay,
let's get into our news stories. And we don't have a whole lot of news stories today. We do have some lighthearted ones and some minor ones. And then I think one is at least of good interest. But here's a minor one. Gabe Newell has to show up in court.
Yay.
Yeah. So back in 2021, Wolfire Games, who are the people who do Humble Bundle, they basically sued for, I'm forgetting the official terminology. Let's see if I can find it here. Antitrust, that's what it was. Yeah. So an antitrust lawsuit because of the pricing that Steam takes so much cut from developers. And so they filed that a couple years ago. And this entire time, Gabe doesn't like making appearances at things. And so he said, hey, yeah, I can't do it because I don't want to get COVID. They basically just told him, no, you better show up. So we'll see how that goes.
We talked about the whole pricing last week, so I'm not going to rehash it. If you are interested in hearing our opinion, go back.
No, but I like how that actually links this episode into last week's episode.
Sure. But I think that it'll be interesting how the outcome of this. Mm-hmm. I think that the Humble Bundles, they donate a lot of money. So to take a 30% cut on money that's being donated, just assuming that's what they're doing.
That is questionable, yeah.
I don't know. I think
what it is Humble Bundle buys the keys, and then they give you the keys from when you pay Humble Bundle for that. So you're still getting the game at a discount, and the developer's still getting the original amount that it was sold for. But I think Humble Bundle is just like, this is just wrong for developers to have to go through.
I'm just curious the actual economics of that. I can't really criticize it, but if they're bringing it up, I mean, the 30% must be a big deal. And considering how cheap you can get games on Humble Bundle, that's a big deal.
I love Humble Bundle. I think they're fantastic. And the fact that they're doing this for charity on top of it all, stellar.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to load up on your library really quickly if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, like I said, kind of a minor story, not that big a deal. But speaking of developers and money, since we have been talking about other developers with money and money issues, I figured I'd share a story that's of good news. You ready for some good news?
Good news.
Good news in the video games. Game Maker.
Okay.
You know who they are?
No.
They are basically a game-making service like Unity or Unreal, where you pay them so much and then you're allowed to use their tools to make a game. They've been known for making games like Undertale.
Okay.
Or at least allowing people to use the software to make Undertale, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, which is a fantastic game, and Hotline Miami 2.
Okay.
They've recently come out and said, hey, we're getting rid of our indie/creator tier of monthly subscription fees. In fact, we're just getting rid of subscription fees. So there's going to be a free to play or free to use version that is for non-commercial, non-console projects. So if you're going to put out a free game on PC, you can now use Game Maker free and clear, no problem. And then what they're going to do is, instead of doing a monthly subscription fee, they're doing a one-time fee of $99. And if you're already on the subscription tier and you want to buy this one-time licensing fee, they will apply what you've paid as a discount onto the fee.
Okay.
Or onto the new licensing fee. And I just thought that was a fantastic thing, and I had to share this quote from, I'm getting my article from The Verge, but Russell Kay, head of Game Maker, he had this to say, and I wanted to share this. We've seen other platforms making awkward moves with their pricing and terms, so we thought, what if we did the opposite? Something that could actually be good for developers. Yeah. Good job.
Hopefully it's economically viable for them, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's economically viable.
Yeah. And I like how the article does end with this last quote from Kay. It says, our success is measured by the number of people making games.
Sure, because especially if they're charging a one-time fee for each game, then, the number of games that obviously has to be high to make it worthwhile to still offer that product.
Absolutely. But I like the fact that they've decided to do that, because more and more people need to recognize how much effort these indie developers are putting into their games and their projects, and stop trying to take advantage of them. I think that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah.
So, good on you, Game Maker.
So, one of the items that came out this week that I wanted to hit on was the PlayStation Portal, which is the PlayStation 5 controller that's been cleaved in two and a big screen been put in it.
Well, not entirely cleaved in two. I mean, I'd say cleaved in thirds, and where the touchpad would be is now just a giant screen.
Well, I think there's something about a touchpad. I don't know. I haven't used it. I've been curious about getting it, but it's literally just a streaming device for your PS5. It amazingly sold out in 2 days at $200. I think it's a big ask for what you're getting out of it. But and the display is supposed to be decent. If you use Wi-Fi and you're close to the spot, the lag is not supposed to be too bad. But there is a delay. It's just the way it is. The PS5 has to generate the frame, encode it, send it to the portal. It has to be decoded and then displayed on that system.
Right, but I think that was kind of the same problem with the Stadia was facing, and I thought they found a way around it. So, I mean, it's just a matter of time, but, like, this stuff has to happen.
Well, I think this is not a bad idea. I just think it's limited in, like, the effective scope of what it can be and the audience that will actually use it.
Like, I would not want to take one on, like, a road trip, you know, because my PS5's at home, hope I get a good signal where I'm going. No, but, like, if I'm, like, have my PS5 set up in the living room and people want to watch TV, but I want to play my PS5, this would be a great solution, like a great compromise. I could play on my little handheld in the living room while they're watching TV, and I won't have to care.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's situational, but again, this is the beginning steps.
I think the 8-inch screen is a nice screen size.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that it being 1080p is just fine for that screen size.
What does the original Switch have, like 5? It's like a 5-inch?
6.5, I want to say.
Is it 6.5? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's still not bad. That's bigger than the original Switch.
Sure. But, I mean, it's so much more limited in scope. At least the Switch can operate independently. Granted, you're not going to have the power that this can.
Right. I mean, there's the trade-off.
But yeah, the thing is that you have to have a PS5 already. And when you get the PS5 and this, you're in for $700 as it is. That's twice the OLED price of a Switch. So, all things considered.
But isn't the PS5 Slim cheaper than the regular PS5?
If you want the disc version of the PS5, it's still $500.
Okay, so, but even then, so let's say you buy the PS5 digital, and then you buy this.
You're in for $600. Oh, well, if you get the Slim digital, you're in for $650. It's only $50 cheaper.
I thought it was $200 cheaper. Oh.
No. It's a lot of money to get into this.
It is.
And,
it is.
You know, it depends on your use case if it's for you.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a slow week on news. And so the last thing I want to talk about is...
okay, hold up. You said it's a slow week on news, but I guess we'll talk about this. No, you really want to talk about this.
I wouldn't say that. No, I would not say about it.
Considering
Oh,
how much enjoyment you got to talk about Booger Man before.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy talking about this. Go ahead.
Okay, so in Mortal Kombat 1, one of the big draws is invasions. I'm getting this information from Polygon, by the way. Windbreaker has become the player's go-to method for cheesing Mortal Kombat 1's in hardest invasion bosses, including Titan-class versions of General Shao and Baraka. And
so let's break that down real quick. So Invasions is basically a new game mode where you fight revamped versions of bosses.
Yeah.
And you get talismans from doing this. And one of the talismans is Windbreaker, where you literally watch your character fart.
Yep, it's a fart. It's a little green gas cloud.
Yep.
And apparently you can do a lot of stuff to this. And
you can tweak it, yeah.
You can tweak it to be, like, huge. And, my God, it's... I don't know why they decided to spend time doing this, but...
every character can fart. Every character has an animation for it. Some of them are better than others.
Yes. I have to say that the Jax one where he flexes and...
Shao Kahn himself was just like, yeah, he put some power behind that stank. But yeah, you can tweak out the talismans. There's a video of somebody who basically
fills the whole screen. Yeah.
Like you couldn't see anything in the video after a while. All you saw was green clouds, and you just knew the guy was taking damage, and that was it. It's a stun lock too.
Yeah.
So it does a ton of damage, and it's a stun lock.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So
I have Mortal Kombat 1 now. So I may or may not be doing this.
You better hurry up because I almost guarantee they're going to nerf the crap out of this.
More than likely.
I mean, but you never know. They may not. They may just be like, yeah, farts are funny, and just keep it like that.
Yeah.
It's possible. So,
yeah, I mean, we're just coming off the Thanksgiving weekend. I hope that everybody had a safe time shopping if you went out, if you did all your shopping online. I hope that you found everything you wanted.
Hope your Cyber Mondays were awesome because I guarantee you this is not coming out before Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
The other last week's episode was supposed to come out last week during Thanksgiving, but unfortunately stuff came up that I was not able to get it edited and out. So it's going to come out at the beginning of the half of this week, and hopefully this episode will be out the later half of this week.
Yeah. But this one's a pretty short one, not a whole lot to talk about. I did go shopping myself. I guess I'll say something about that.
Yeah, dude, let's talk about that real quick. So we're very interested in Tales games.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before. We are big fans of Tales of Arise. We both love that game very much. But for some reason, I thought I had a copy. I don't. I just borrowed yours.
Mine, yeah.
But I thought I actually had my own. But GameStop had a deal where you could get the PS4 version of Tales of Arise for $5.
Yeah, and everything I've seen online says that you can upgrade it to the PS5 version. So $5 for Tales of Arise. I
don't know if that sale's still going, but
if it is,
grab it. Yeah. If it is, grab it. Yeah. We will eventually, probably not right away, just because got to save money for Christmas presents and stuff. But I want to do like a Tales of Arise DLC book club where we play through it together, and then we just talk about it on the podcast.
Well, that's of course if everybody wants to be spoiled about it.
You want to be spoiled, trust me. You want it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But if you know what, that's might not be a bad idea either. If you guys have like ideas for things we can add to this podcast, like little segments and whatnot, we may not do them every week. But if you got something, tell us in the comments down below. And again, answer the question about multiple endings, how you feel about that, and the hunt for true endings. Leave that in the comments. And then just anything else. Like, literally, we just want to hear from you. We like it. We like hearing from you guys because we know that means you're listening.
Yep.
And so that means it gives us a reason to continue talking.
But we'll talk anyway.
I mean, we'll talk anyways, but it's just kind of nice to know there are people in on the conversation. It's not just a you and me and a microphone.
I'd like to think that too.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have yourselves a fantastic week. Enjoy your games, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Later.
Dude. Seriously?
See ya.
Yeah, that's not your line either.
Take care.
Later.